We are currently living in the middle of an epidemic. Things are bad. People are scared. And it seems like everywhere you look, everyone seems to be waiting for the next shoe to drop. After being stuck inside for over 6 months and seeing everything go down, I feel the same way. And no, I am not actually talking about COVID. I'm talking about the disturbing trend of internet celebrities being exposed for being really gross and inappropriate with their minor fans. In a very small window of time since Disneyland has been fully shut down, so many e-celebrities have been shown and have admitted to using their viral fame to talk to their fans in incredibly disturbing ways. The last person who I talked about doing this was the YouTuber by the name Cryotic, and ever since I made that video less than 2 months ago, over 50, I have to say the number because of my speech impediment, 50 other people have been exposed for doing similar things. And like Cryotic, the person we are going to be discussing today is someone who full out, admitted to being inappropriate and crossing lines with his minor fans. This man admitted it. And again, like Cryotic, this man still has fans writing hard for him. With a video he made discussing what he did, admitting to what he did to his 2 minor fans, receiving 44,000 likes and only 20,000 dislikes. This man who makes Minecraft content that I know would appeal to my nephew. Hell, something that my nephew probably does watch. This man made a video saying, yeah, I was inappropriate and I did send photos to 2 underage girls and I asked them to send me photos back, but nothing happened in real life. So like, it's not that bad, guys. Am I right? We've all done that, right, guys? And there were 44,000 people who saw that and said, yeah, we're good. That's all fine. I know that currently there's a big, massive disconnect with how YouTube is just numbers because we see a number on a screen and we actually don't think of those numbers as people. But like, as a person who does YouTube on the side, sometimes I have to force myself to sit here and confront the fact that these are people, that those 44,000 people who liked that are real life people and could fill the Orlando Stadium. The number of people who liked that could fill a stadium, and they're proving a man saying, yeah, lol, sorry I groomed you, and they think that's okay and decided it was cool to move on from that. That to me is disgusting. It's truly, utterly disgusting. So, much like all the men, women, and plain old disgusting people before him, we are going to be diving deep into this situation with Minilad. The allegations against him, which he has admitted to, the one that he said didn't happen, and talking about where we go from here. Because I'll tell you where he's going. To jail. Actually, no, he probably won't go to jail because I don't trust the justice system at all. And also randomly, he decided to move out of the country after this all came out. So that's great. That tells you a lot. Hey guys, it's Shannon, and before I get into this video, I do want to say thank you for the wave of love and support that you guys have thrown at me lately. However, if you want to skip this portion to get to the meat and potatoes of the video, I totally understand. I will leave a time step up here somewhere so you guys can skip it. But I need to gush a little bit before talking about how this full-grown man-child really came online, full out, admitted to grooming minors, and then said, lol, anyways, back to scheduled content. I recently hit 300,000 subscribers, which is a mighty high number, and frankly one I don't think I deserve. I don't know what I did to get this. One of the main reasons why I make it a point to shout out other creators and to subscriber recommended content so often and just listen to you guys so often is because I truly don't think I deserve the platform you guys have given me, and I don't think I deserve the amount of support that I truly get. I mean, let's be serious right now. I started doing this while I was homeless. I recorded all of my audio in my 2003 Honda Accord, and you can tell I filmed every single one of my videos before I got my iPad in a Starbucks or in the Tigard Public Library, and without YouTube, I can fully say that my husband and I wouldn't have been able to get ourselves out of debt and into an apartment and be able to do the things that we are currently doing. Absolutely, positively, none of that is lost on me. And the fact that this is a platform that you guys make a choice each and every day to watch, or each and every day to stay subscribed and click a button that says you like me, it does mean a lot. I have wanted to do a giveaway to celebrate ever since 200,000, and now that we're at 300,000, I need to, but I don't know what to do. I have some pretty cool things for a giveaway, but if you guys have any ideas of what you want to see me do, let me know that right now in the comments down below. I can't really thank you guys enough for what you guys have done for me. I can't thank you guys sincerely enough. I don't know how to make it sound better. I feel like everything comes off forced. I don't know, but truly thank you guys. With that being said, let's get into the disgusting. If you don't know who Minilad is, according to Google, he is a British entertainer, comedian, vlogger, and gamer whose real name is Craig Thompson. He is incredibly successful in his field of YouTube and has over 5 million dedicated subscribers. And that is an incredibly high number of subscribers because that is the number he is at even after confirming the fact that he did prey on his underage fans. 5 million people saw that and still thought it was cool. I have no hope. I truly do not. On June 23rd, 2020, two different women decided to come forward and give their accounts of their experiences with Craig and talk about how he would message them when they were underage. They both talked openly about their experiences where he coerced them into inappropriate messages and even sent them unsolicited nudes when they were between the ages of 16 to 17. Just so you guys can get a basic general understanding of what happened with these girls, I am going to be reading their statements in their entirety because I think it's important that these two women's voices be heard, especially since they're currently being swept under the rug by Craig and his fans and being deliberately told, well, it just happened online, so it's not that big of a deal. Why don't you just shut up? I'm going to start with a statement that was made by Haley or Hallie. I don't know which one is the correct pronunciation, but it's titled, I was manipulated by Mini Lad. I was 16 to 17. He was over 20. Photos will be in the reply. First off, I want to say that I'm not doing this because I hate him. I'm disappointed in him. There's a difference. I am not doing this for malicious intent as well. He has rejected help and told the internet he would get therapy and then never did. And even after so many years, to hear that his actions of arrogance have not decreased makes me feel like a fool for not sharing this sooner in protection of any other woman who associates themselves with him. Craig has always been a friend of mine, but it never felt genuine at all. Sure, he helped me in times of need, and for that I am forever grateful for that side of him. But things he has said and done to others, such as myself, makes me question if he is truly humble or not with the support he has given me personally. When I was 16, around the time Craig and his ex-girlfriend broke up, he was severely depressed. I saw the dark side of him with his depression, and I chose out of respect to keep that private unless it involves what I will be talking about. It took me years to realize that he used his suicidal tendencies to pity him into not talking about these things publicly. The fact that I can't look at his name without thinking about all the shit he did really bugs me to this day. So that being said, this is my story. I honestly do not remember when or why Craig and I started talking. I think it was more so I was worried for him and tried to be a good friend because of the breakup at the time. So I was there for him, direct messaging him through Twitter during my classes, listening to his worries about his ex, or even just to talk. Things started to get more personal and darker with the conversations. He would go to me for venting to see if there were ways to get back to his ex or help her change and whatnot. Of course, me trying to be a good friend, I listened to everything he said and even said sure, there is hope in changing her and shit like that. Even shit talked about her with him, which was very wrong of me. I'll admit, I was being a bit of an ass kisser. Now I'm going to briefly interject right here because this breaks my heart so much because there is really no reason for her to think of herself as this other than it's being drilled into her head that this situation is somehow her own fault. Like, oh, I was 16, I should have realized that I shouldn't talk to someone I idolize who is an adult like this. I shouldn't have talked and given him the responses I thought he wanted when I was 16 and he was a full-grown adult and I idolized him and he was obviously talking to me to get that response out of me. Like, you're 16 talking to someone you idolize, and if they're talking shit about someone, of course you're going to shit talk back. If they're asking you if they can vent to you, of course you're going to allow them. Like, you are 16. You know some stuff, but not everything. You shouldn't feel like it's your fault that this grown-ass adult man was abusing the fact that you were a fan and using you for validation. He was the adult, you were not. That is not your fault, and anyone who says, well, she should have told him XYZ has the benefit of hindsight and also the benefit of not knowing someone you idolize when you're 16 deciding to interact with you and prey on you when you're a minor. Like, it's very different. So the fact that she's already saying, like, I was an ass kisser, I shouldn't have said this, I shouldn't have said that, that alarms me because it's so drilled into her at this point. I'm guessing based on what he has said and what she thinks people will think, and that's so sad to me. But again, I'll admit I was being a bit of an ass kisser. The reason being was I had a crush on him. He knew that. I had to sometimes sit and listen to him talk about how he got an erection over his ex or whatever, despite him knowing how I felt about him. But then I don't remember why, but we were joking around to where I said something about his dick being small. I guess he took it personally, as you will see in the replies of our conversations that started on Twitter, that he moved to Discord so he could delete the photos he sent me. He sent me pictures of him in his underwear to show off his bulge of his penis. I did not ask for that at all. I want to clarify that the reason I was acting cool with it was because I had a fucking crush on him. So it was whatever, right? And so I didn't really know better. Remember, I was a minor. I was 16, he knew I liked him. He sent those photos to someone he knew liked him for a boost of ego. The worst part is, I was not the only person he's done this to. With someone else who will come out that I will retweet, she experienced much much, much more weird shit to say to a fucking minor. That will be Ash's place to say. I think a year after the situation happened with him sending me photos, I confronted him about it, and he apologized and said he knew he hurt me and regrets it. However, it makes me question if he said that just so I didn't turn against him and help expose him. The fact that I even have to question it, even to this day, truly says a lot. Ash was at one point going to expose him, but me being the fool I was, I defended Craig. I was blinded by his lies and manipulation. He told me he did not know Ash much and never talked to her in a dating matter and whatnot. He also said he didn't know she was underage, saying that Ash told him she was 18. All of that was a lie. I eventually caught him out in that lie and went back to him and asked him if this was really him in a Snapchat screenshot I'll post below. He confessed and I was utterly distraught. I couldn't even talk to him for a day. He begged and begged me to talk to him. Eventually I did, and he fully admitted that he was scared that I would turn against him. Reading back our messages to myself, I felt like he wasn't scared to lose our friendship, but his career. That was it. When he and Sammy got together, I told him if he was going to date her, he should be honest about the creepy shit he has done. He said he would, then later told me he wouldn't. I shrugged it off and had hope that maybe he would come to his senses. I only just found out now that he had never said a damn word to her, and I had to be the one to tell Sammy. Before, with the whole "you should tell her" was because he was being threatened to be exposed by someone who I will not publicly name who was friends with Ash. He was scared of losing his career and how it would ruin his friendships. Craig, if you didn't want that, you shouldn't have done what you did in the first place and not excuse your actions with being depressed and suicidal. You manipulated me into keeping my mouth shut for so long because I was terrified of what you could do to yourself. That goes for a lot of the people who knew about the situation. There was no excuse for you being the way you were with underage girls such as myself at the time. I still believe you can get help. I know you are a good person, but you need therapy. Stop running away from it, stop saying you don't need it, and never lie to your fans about taking it again. You know your supporters deserve better than that. You are human enough to realize that. I tried to be a good friend. I even to this day tried to be one, but this can't sit right with me. Especially that, to this day, every time I see your name, I think about everything. Now, all that being said, the very firm reasons I have come out with this are: his behaviors towards minors was inappropriate. He was an adult. I don't want this to happen to others. I am hoping he takes ownership of his actions towards me, others, and gets the help he very much needs. I feel like a heavy weight will be lifted off of me by sharing this story. Thank you for listening to me. Stay safe, everyone. Now, one of the number one things that stands out to me in this statement is the fact that he pressured those girls into not talking about what he has done. Because if they were to talk about it, if they were to be honest about what he had put them through and what he had done to them of his own volition, that he would hurt himself. He told these minors, he told these people who were 16, barely able to drive a car, that if they talked about what he had done, if they were honest with the world, that he was going to hurt himself or take his own life because of them. And that is never, ever okay. There are plenty other things in the story that aren't okay, but that especially because that's textbook emotional manipulation, and that sticks with you. I know that people like Boogie2988 and other YouTubers had said the same thing in the past and have alluded to, well, if I ever become irrelevant and if people ever start to hate me and all my fans leave, I'm gonna physically hurt myself. I'm gonna harm myself. But that is absolutely never okay to say. You can never blame your mental health and put the burden of your mental well-being on someone else in that way. So just to summarize that statement, we have Craig, mini lad, sending a minor, a person he knows is 16 and 17 at the time he's talking to them, pictures of him, his penis, talking to her in an inappropriate manner, and then going further to say, well, if you were to talk about this, if you were to discuss this outside of our friendship, if you were to say what I've done to you, I'm going to hurt myself and it will be your fault. That's what he's done in this first statement. But like she said, like Hallie or Haley said, someone else came out about their experience with him at the same time. And this is her statement, which is titled, "My Experience with Mini Lad, I was 17. When I was 16, I was a huge fan of Craig and his friend. I had made a fan account for him on Twitter to make friends with other people and became good friends with an amazing group of girls. We had a group chat where we would talk daily and would often tweet Craig in hopes of being tweeted back. One of the girls in the group chat tweeted Craig asking if he wanted to join our group chat, and by our surprise, he said yes. He followed the girl who had tweeted him initially and was added where we could all chat for a bit before he left. Nothing out of the ordinary happened, and we were all so excited to have been able to talk to someone we looked up to. A little later, he followed me and sent me a DM to say that he would have not been added to the group if it hadn't been for me. I was confused as I had no part in him joining the group chat, but was excited anyways. He told me if I ever needed anything, I could reach out, and then he began to discuss his recent breakup and how poorly it was affecting his mental health, so I told him he could do the same. I was over the moon to feel so close to the person I was infatuated with. We were casually friendly for a while with many tweets back and forth and the occasional DM. He added me on Snapchat where we chatted here and there, but nothing super deep. Now, time. What stands out to me here, and what really stands out to me in this statement so far, is the fact that this is basically the textbook definition of grooming. He's doing it to this girl. This is grooming through and through. Starting the conversation out by making her feel special, saying like, oh, it was because of you that I was let into this group chat, even though that very clearly wasn't the case. It was because of someone else. She had no part in it. Making her feel like, oh, she could trust him by saying like, oh, if you need anything, 16-year-old girl who I haven't talked to before online, feel free to ask me. I care about you. I'm someone who you admire and look up to the point of having a fan Twitter dedicated to me and a group chat dedicated to me. I know my influence on you, but you can trust me too. And then going further to disclose personal, private, inappropriate information to that said minor. That is gross. That's grooming 101. It's textbook. He is doing what he can to make her feel special and seen so she will let her guard down, essentially. Also, let it be known right here, right now, if you're an adult and you're going through a hard time, going through a hard breakup or whatever, and you're an internet celebrity, letting your minor fans know about that, talking to your minor fans about it, talking about that to people who are just going to agree with you no matter what, that is not the move, ever. In fact, it's creepy and it's weird. You need to get some friends your own age who don't think you invented comedy by being on the internet, who don't kiss your ass because you make YouTube videos. That's not okay and it's not appropriate. Things took a sharp turn when we started chatting on Snapchat one day and the subject of virginity came up. He asked if I was a virgin and I said yes. Then he asked if he could take my virginity and I told him yes. Things escalated from there and it's hard to recall specifics from so long ago, especially from Snapchat where chat history gets deleted. I remember my family had planned a trip to California to visit family for my birthday, and he asked if I would be able to come over to his house to have sex. I told him it would probably be a long shot because I was still 17 and my parents probably wouldn't let me outside. My stepdad ended up having a minor health complications that made us have to cancel our trip, a blessing in disguise. Although I never got to physically meet him, things continued to be sexual. We called a few times on Discord and he asked me for nudes quite often. Initially I told him I wasn't comfortable sending things like that, but I was afraid after a while he would lose interest, so I complied. I can't exactly say how many pictures/videos were exchanged, but it was quite a few. He initiated nearly every conversation because I was too intimidated to message him first in fear of bothering him. All of this went on for around 6 months, then we started messaging less and less. My infatuation died and I was no longer looking through rose-tinted glasses. I gained a lot of perspective and I felt used. Someone I looked up to and admired took advantage of that to get what he wanted. I ended up telling my friends who had no idea any of this was going on. They were outraged and wanted me to come forward right away. The only reason I didn't was to protect his girlfriend at the time. A few of his mods would do his dirty work for him and message me and my friends about wanting to come forward to keep us quiet. They defended him and would say he has changed and is not worth ruining his career. I'm thankful for all the courageous women and men who have come forward and shared their stories. Because of that, I feel I have a comfortable place to share mine. I also am incredibly thankful for my friends for helping me and supporting me through all of this. It's been a long back and forth of should I or shouldn't I. I have since moved on in the past 4 years and no longer associate with Craig or any of the people who tried to silence us. I'm glad I can finally heal. I'm sorry. But in reading that, is that not the most pathetic thing you've ever heard in your life? Because it is in mine. It's the most pathetic thing I have heard for a long time since To Catch a Predator, because he said the same thing that every single one of them does in every single episode. Every single guy would chat with underage girls online, does the exact thing that Craig fucking Thompson did here, and asked for underage girls who were virgins. Are you virgin? And then making full-on, full-out plans to take their virginities as if it's some sort of prize to be won. And the fact that she wasn't able to visit him in California on a family vacation, and then he lost interest, that's disgusting. That's gross. It's point blank period, end of it. She literally talked about having a months-long friendship, building this friendship with him where they would chat constantly, and then he made things sexual with a minor who he knew he had power and influence over, seeing as she had a dedicated fan Twitter to him and that's how they met. And instead of being decent and an upstanding person in the slightest, he decided to make plans to take her virginity on a family vacation she was on, and he was in his 20s. There's no excuse for that. None whatsoever. This man literally acted like one of the dumbasses in To Catch a Predator, down to the wording. The wording is even the same. So these statements came out and people were talking about them pretty intensely, wondering if they were true or not and waiting for Craig's response. Surely he would say something to enlighten the masses and deny what was happening, even though there was plenty of evidence that these girls attached to their posts that showed that these things did in fact occur. And people only had to wait 2 full days for a response, because on June 25th, he released this notepad statement on Twitter, which to me is probably not the move you make when you're being exposed for being a sexual deviant. You know? I mean, imagine being called a sexual predator who full on, full out tried to convince a minor to gift you her virginity on a family fucking vacation, and your response is to open the notes app like you're Tana Mojo, apologizing for filming yourself driving high while on Xanax. It's just, I have no patience for it. He says this. Hi everyone. Many of you are probably aware by now of the allegations recently made online about my behavior a few years ago. I have read through everything that has been said and shared, and I understand how unacceptable my actions were. That is to say, hi, everything these girls are saying I did all of it. End of story. This grown-ass, Minecraft-ass man just admitted that what both of these girls said, what they proved he said with evidence, is in fact true. And yet, here we are, and 44,000 people still think he's the bee's knees. Still has 5 million subscribers, and he admitted to it. But for some reason, he also decided to write 5 more paragraphs after admitting to sexually exploiting 2 underage female fans, and even made plans to travel to take one of theirs virginity. But alright, let's see how he justifies this. I take full responsibility for the inappropriate texts and messages I sent. I regret having said or sent anything that made anyone uncomfortable or upset. Notice him saying, I regret if I made you feel uncomfortable about what I sent. Not, I shouldn't have sent you, a minor, photos of my penis and asked for you to send nudes back when you were again a minor. It's literally, I'm sorry that you felt that I crossed a line, even though I admitted to crossing a line. I'm sorry that you feel that way. It's manipulation and de-escalation of the situation to make it seem more understandable. He's also not gonna say what he did in this apology at all, because to say it would be bringing it to people's attention. He goes on to say, I am truly and deeply sorry for what I did. I absolutely should have done what was necessary at the time, and that was seeking professional help, realizing my actions were completely unacceptable, and working to change my behaviors inside and out. Moving forward, I fully commit to working on myself, including going to therapy, rethinking and changing my life choices, and personally apologizing to those I have harmed. I know it's hard to believe, and I totally get it. I haven't given you enough reason to trust me, and I know I need to earn it, but that's on me to prove to you. I know there's no righting my wrongs here, and I want to express again how sorry I am to the people who I have hurt, to the fans who I have let down. I have a long road of personal searching ahead of me, so that's my focus now. I will be back when the time is right. Take care of yourselves. Craig Thompson. Again, y'all notice anything weird there? Anything inherently gross and manipulative other than, blaming, trying to take a minor's virginity on your mental health? That doesn't seem like a mental health problem, my dude. But sure, I'll give you guys a second or two to comment if you think you've got what was really gross and manipulative about that. And if you didn't leave anything, I will just tell you. He literally never directly says what the allegations are and just makes it into a mental health issue and never states what he is apologizing for, and therefore to all of his fans, to his 5 million fans who are looking at this, they're just going to be like, why are people attacking him? His mental health was just bad. Why would they do that? He's just suffering. Why would someone call him out? He's obviously going through a hard time. He's redirecting the focus to be on his mental health, so he is the victim here and they get hate for it because, well, he's so nice. Why would you do that? He's working on himself. How could you? It's the most manipulative thing I've ever seen from someone who wanted to travel to take someone's virginity. It's gross. It's so gross. I can't. Unfortunately, there is more to the story, but as of now, I have been recording for an hour and a half and my throat really hurts because my stutter got a bit worse midway through, and it's going to be a lot to edit. So I'm going to leave this here. I might live stream more about this later, but let me know if you guys want to hear more about this situation. With that being said, what do you guys think about this? Are you a fan of Mini Lads? Or were you a fan? Is this shocking or upsetting to you? Let me know in the comments down below. But with that, I am out of here. Later.